It didn't take much more than a bottle and 2 chairs to make a speakeasy. This is what Daniel Okrent said in his book, Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition. Today, join us for some stories. Get your own bottle, glass, or mug, and relax. This is Speak Easily, and I'm your host, Krista Stauffer. Hi, welcome to Speak Easily. I am Krista Stauffer. I'm here today with Dino Tripodis because you're here for the milestones.
The milestone, you say?
This is a milestone. We're really excited. This is episode 100.
I get to show up on all the anniversaries.
You do. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do for 200. We talked about something, didn't we?
No, we talked about doing it like, what was it, the bathtub or something like that?
Yeah, we said we haven't recorded anybody in the bathroom, and he said that's what Dino can do for episode 200. And I said no.
No.
Because...
No.
I didn't volunteer
No.
like that.
Well,
No.
you kind of did. You
Well,
did.
that would have to be one of your Zoom episodes. that would have to be one of your Zoom episodes.
But
Because
I mean,
I tend to take up a lot of the tub.
I'm not asking you to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have 100 episodes to
You can think it through.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, if we get to like 185,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I don't.
And I'm not tub ready.
Yeah.
I can back out.
You can back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll hold
Tub-
auditions.
Which I wish I had I love a tub.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you?
I love sitting in. Now, my tub is not, it's okay, but
Yeah.
it doesn't fit all of me comfortably. If
Yeah.
I was going to remodel something in my house,
It
I think
would
I'd
be
start with the bathroom and get one of those,
Like the big jacuzzi type.
not even big jacuzzi, one of those big old claw tubs, the
Oh,
old fashioned ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to soak in it.
Really?
Have a little place for a bourbon or
Yeah.
a cocktail of some sort, and
Huh.
yeah.
I don't like it.
No.
No,
You
I
don't like-
don't. I think because I get cold so easily and the water turns so quickly.
We gotta get a hot.
Well, I do. But then, seeing
Then you
as
can run more hot water again and warm it back
yeah,
up.
I don't have the patience for that either. But
Okay, I think you need to rethink your 200th episode already.
wow.
I see problems.
Thank you all for joining us.
Okay, thank you. It's been a great 100 episodes.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Is that why you have the?
This is why, yeah. And we typically, even though it's called Speak Easily, you know this, we don't typically drink
right.
during our episodes, mostly because we record during the day and we have children and, it's sort of frowned upon on occasion.
Right.
It's not great to show up at daycare after having day drinks.
I don't think they would blame
Says
you.
you.
So
Back in my day, when we took the kids to daycare.
Yeah.
we drank with the teachers. So I'm going to put my mask on just because I've got to move around. And we thought, what better entertainment than have Krista actually try to open a bottle of champagne on camera. I'm usually fairly good at this.
Aren't you? Hasn't one of your professions been in the wine industry?
Yeah, it
so
is.
This should be
It
a
is,
no-brainer.
but this is
right?
like the Pillsbury croissants.
You
know
don't
what
have
I
to
mean?
explain. No, I don't. I don't know how the two go together at all.
Afraid of the opening
I am afraid of the pop. Yeah, I actually
I
am.
thought maybe you're afraid of the doughboy, little Pillsbury doughboy.
No. Okay.
You know what he does?
So what you're supposed to do, I'm going to stand up and do this.
Don't put an eye out.
Hang on, you're not on camera now. Hang on.
Is that better? Ben's got, I can sit. It's okay.
Okay.
I think you should.
All right.
So you
Come
got to
on, be
hold the
brave.
bottle steady. Actually, you hold the cap, the cork steady,
Right.
and move
I
the
do have a
bottle.
You move
sword.
the
You
bottle.
Savor it? That'd be pretty
No,
rad.
I don't. Croissants.
Oh, look at
See?
that.
And then you don't have spillage.
I see.
But there was one time a couple of weeks ago. I'm standing up,
I
Ben.
feel like
Sorry, I'm
croissants
off
is
camera.
like a cheers now. He's like, croissants!
Croissants.
Croissants!
So we are toasting our 100th episode here, Ben.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Ben is the 99% of the reason that this is actually happening.
Oh.
Oh,
No. You need good. Trust me. I've said it
Yeah.
before. There'd be no whiskey business without Whitney and Hansberry at the helm producing.
And
so.
they've been there since the beginning, right?
Whitney came in about a year and a half into it, but Hansberry's been there from the start. Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
Well,
croissant.
croissants.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Congratulations.
Croissant.
Here's to the next 100. Bravo. Well
And the
done.
bathtub episode.
Well done. Look how far you've come. To 100 episodes from the meek, apprehensive. I don't know if I should
really did
do it or can do it or how to do
You
it.
make me sound really pathetic.
Well,
Just,
I'm exaggerating
You knew there'd be a little mockery.
the emotional
what? With
the-
Dino? No.
the emotional content prior to and
It was.
It was.
But you weren't nervous to start yours?
Yeah, of course I was. I'm always nervous.
Are you nervous right now?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I'm always nervous.
Well, cheers. Let me explain the croissant thing to you, because I know I'm not the only one out there. It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty tasty.
We do Prosecco instead of champagne, because I went to Kroger.
I
There
like
wasn't much to
Prosecco
choose.
better than
I do too.
champagne.
It's just got a lighter, not as cloying, I don't think.
Cloying?
Cloying.
Cloying.
That,
Must be
yeah, that like,
a wine description. I find this to be amusing and not as cloying as
it is a wine description. It's like when you feel like that sugar bubble gets caught in your throat. When you talk like this and you can't get it out. You know what, when that happens?
oh my god, do that again?
Right, like this. It's when you get the bubble in your throat.
I've never heard you do
You've
that
never heard me
before.
do that?
No,
No, I have a lot of voices.
no,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Have you heard her tweet?
Her what?
You've heard my bird noises.
You-
You're kidding me.
Your bird noises. Why do you know how to do that?
That's a good question. You know what it actually is, and I learned this in college, that I have a slight lisp on my S's. There's enough space in between my, I don't know, like the gap or the bite, I'm not sure, but it provides for a little bit of space. So when you hear my S's, it always would drive Ben nuts when we're recording commercials.
Filter built in.
He has a Krista filter.
You have a Krista S filter? Nice.
I'm an S-hole. But but there's a little bit of a whistle, and I think that that's the only way that I'm able to do that sound,
I see.
because where the placement is.
I see.
Yeah. So there's that.
So the croissant.
The croissant. Let's get back to the croissant. The tube of Pillsbury croissants. You've
Right.
seen those,
Yes.
right? It's like the wrapped, and you have to
Right.
like stick a spoon into the crease to pop it open.
I thought you just,
Slam it down on the
slam
counter.
it down the counter
Is that
and
what
it
you do?
splits open. I thought that's how you, or maybe is that the cookies? Maybe that's the cookie dough.
I mean, that's how I do it. Just because, like,
You slam it?
I'm not afraid of croissants.
I'm afraid of the croissant pop. I will admit it. I will be.
Yeah, but if you slam it down, you can't be afraid of that.
Well, that's
Then
true.
You're throwing your enemy down. You're
It's
smoting.
it's sort of like people opening. That's what makes me think of the champagne when they're pushing it with their
Yeah.
thumbs. It's like making the pop happen. That to
Yeah.
me is slamming the croissants on the counter. See,
Okay.
cloying a little
You got
bit.
to take control of the situation.
I don't feel in control when it comes to croissants because
Very cloying of you.
I should have never said cloying.
You have to work on your croissant control.
Well, I
issues.
don't eat them anymore, so it's
Oh, you still doing that?
yeah,
All right.
still doing that.
I should do that.
It's not bad.
No, I should do something. It's just like,
Motivation right now is nearly impossible.
I put on the COVID-19 and then some, I think, since the pandemic.
But what are you gonna do?
What?
I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like,
Exercise? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe move.
should we do chair workouts?
Actually, walk.
I
Go
have been-
outside.
That
Something.
has been my COVID workout has been walking. You know this. Like it
Yeah.
went from
You said you were walking a lot, like Forrest Gump walking.
it is
Like
it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I mean it started out just as like I've got to get out of the house and just take the dog and walk around the neighborhood. It's like, oh well that was a mile or two, and then it kind of started getting bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
You just felt like walking.
I just
Yeah,
felt
just felt
I
like
just felt
walking.
like walking, and I walked. But I put on a podcast, and there have been some really good ones that I've listened to over this time.
Right.
You just kind of get lost in it. it's good for the dog, it's good for me. And usually it's like, well, we just made it 5 miles. Guess we
And they
should
say
turn
that
around.
walking, I read an article recently that walking actually boosts your creativity.
Oh,
So
huh.
there's that
Really?
as well. Yeah.
Can't say I'm super creative right now.
Well, but you just said it, you get lost in it, and it probably listen to other podcasts. You probably get ideas. You probably get thoughts, and you're not even aware of it. And then maybe
She said on her 100th episode.
yeah, and you apply them later. So good for you.
It's just an escape.
Everybody needs an escape, especially these
I know.
days.
Yeah.
These days, yeah. We're here on the day after the first blue moon, or on
Oh, it was
Halloween.
gorgeous. Did you see it last night?
I did see it last night.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful last night.
Stars
and
were. It was a clear
It was,
sky.
and it supposedly has significance. You know, it's the first one since 1944.
Oh, I didn't know this.
The last time we had a moon like that was Halloween. On Halloween was in 1944, shortly after the end of World War II. And they say that this particular moon is a moon that you were supposed to kind of release all your negative energies and welcome in a new cycle of positivity
I
and
hope
so
that's
forth and
it.
so. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a bunch of astrological mumbo jumbo, but at this point, the way things
take
are,
it.
I'll take anything you got. You know, bring it. You know, I'm like, okay, release.
This is a weird question.
Release all the negative energies. Bring me some positivity. Bring me something, because
Yeah.
it's
awful.
It's gotten to me, and I never thought it would, but it did. It did. It got me. It got me in its emotional clutches.
Is it cloying?
And it's for a woman who said she was sorry she brought up the word cloying. She brings it back.
It's a tagline now. Hashtag
Yeah,
cloying.
Yeah.
Do you said you're not like into the astrological stuff?
I'm not is it devoted to it. I mean, I find it interesting, just like I find a lot of things interesting. I'll read my horoscope, in the paper every day and go, bullshit, or
Wait, are you a Taurus?
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus.
I'm almost on the cusp.
Okay.
I'm on the cusp of Taurus and Aries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you?
Libra.
Yep. Huh. I don't know anything about either of those, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo. We're annoying. That's all I know.
I'm a Taurus. We're
Are you
stubborn.
fire?
Huh?
Are you a fire sign or?
I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know.
More like a slow burning ember sign.
I don't think there's that.
Yeah. Stubborn, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Supposedly creative. Yeah.
So we're probably similar then.
Okay. And yet,
No,
no.
not at all. Night and day.
Night and day.
Yeah. No, all I know is that Leos are, like the lion, gregarious, creative, outspoken, obnoxious.
Uh-huh.
And I think most
What I
Leos
think of when I think of lions.
obnoxious.
Outspoken, creative, and
Obnoxious. Obnoxious.
Yeah.
I haven't met a lot of
Obnoxious
obnoxious.
I think there's your children's book, Krista the Obnoxious Lion. Lioness.
No.
No?
I don't think I could write a kid's book.
Sure you could.
Well, I could. I just don't really want
I'm
to.
writing one.
I know you are.
Yeah.
What is it called again?
Gotta Go Gus. I'm doing it with a couple of other people who came up with the concept and idea, and they asked me to actually write it and put it together. And we have a rough draft, and now we're looking to scale that down to the proper amount of pages. There's a
Like 32 or
there's
something?
like a science and a rhythm to children's books after investigating the format a little bit on how they work and how they feel. And there's like the 32 pages seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And there's a rhythm.
Is
to
it drawings on every page?
Yeah,
Okay.
drawings on every page.
And this is, I can't remember what age range you said. Like,
we're going for 6 to 8.
okay.
Yeah.
So like first
Which
to
is my
third
level
grade.
of education. I'm kidding.
That makes a lot of sense.
No, but it's
Yeah.
just one of
And
the
where
many
is it?
side projects.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it hard to work with in collaboration when somebody's got something so set and then you're adding to it?
Well, no, actually, they
give you
didn't really. They had we discussed the character, and they've given me a lot of freedom to go ahead with the draft, and I set it out there, and then I just send me back your thoughts, ideas, what you like, what you don't like, and go from there. So.
And the character is it based off of you?
No, it's not based off of me. It's
Okay.
based on my friend Gus. That was kind of like we always tease and say he's got to go Gus. He's always been in a hurry. So it's about an impatient 6 to 8 year old boy who's always in a rush to go someplace else. As a result of being in a rush to go someplace else, he misses out on things or things happen. So there's a lesson. We want it to be a series. Yeah. There's a lesson in each book that he learns as a result of his impatience, if you will, and his gotta-go-ness, which isn't really a thing, but
it is though.
In the first one, he's in a hurry and doesn't teach his sister how to tie her shoes properly because he's got to go, and as a result, she has an accident, and because her shoes come untied. And very simple, but a lesson,
Right. Are you patient?
In some areas
Okay.
of life, I am patient. In some other ones, I become very impatient. It varies. I'd say if you're looking at the whole ball of wax, probably yes, patient. With other people and other things, maybe not so much with myself per se. And when I think about patience, I think about a lot of things factor into patience. Anger, I think I have a long fuse most of the time, but if that long fuse burns and it gets down to the bomb, and then sometimes a short fuse. It depends. The short fuse is normally kicks in when somebody I love or care about has been mistreated or abused or wronged. That's my short fuse. Yeah. Mistreat, abuse me, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to do a 10 count and be a little bit longer, but I don't have a lot of patience or tolerance for anybody who wrongs somebody I care about.
That's fair. I like that. That was a good answer. It was well thought out. That was a patiently thought out answer about patience.
Yes, I took my time with it.
I don't. I'm terrible. That's probably one of my biggest flaws is just lack of patience.
Yeah.
Always looking for okay, all right. Well, what's next?
You really? Mm-hmm. Because the work that you do with teaching and whatnot and acting, it seems like it would require concentration and patience.
I think concentration and patience are two separate things, though.
So you don't think you need to be patient in order to concentrate?
I'm not, so
okay.
It's not going well.
Fair enough.
No, I don't. I mean, I think that there's a level of staying in the moment, and there's a level of being impatient. Okay. It's the downtime. I can concentrate when I have to be on for something. I could stay in that moment. But if there's nothing going on, I don't do well. That's why this pandemic is hard. Mm-hmm.
You're teaching.
Yeah.
That requires patience.
Yes, over Zoom for sure.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's hard because it's one of those things that you're not excited to start, but once you're in it, it's like, this is
it's like writing.
Great. Yeah.
God, I love to write,
yeah,
but
I
hate to. I will come up with every reason, excuse in the book not to sit down and do it, and then when I sit down and do it, and I'm doing it like,
this is great.
What the hell was I?
Yeah.
Why was I fighting this? But yeah. And you are a classic example. There's a phrase that I hate.
Bitch.
Huh?
Oh.
No.
I didn't know where we were going.
No. that one has its place.
Oh, thank you. That's coming.
Not today.
It's coming.
Not today.
Not tomorrow.
Not today.
Happy 100th, though.
But you and our friend Ralph and other people too, I've always hated the expression "those who can't do teach." I've hated that.
And those who can't teach Jim.
Yeah, right. But I've always hated that expression because that's such.
It takes it down to like an insulting level.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Because that's. I don't think it's a fair assessment of somebody.
I don't think it is either.
And what I think about the failed novelist who's been working on his great American novel for 15 years and hasn't published it, but he's teaching a writing class.
Right.
And I think of that stereotype. But but you're a classic example, Ralphie too. I mean, you guys do great work. And you teach, you share your gift.
I think for both he and I, though, it's important that we remain relevant in our craft as opposed to just teaching.
Right.
And I think that's where I was talking with a friend who we were talking about teaching at the collegiate level and how challenging that can be when you don't have the time to do anything outside of teaching. Mm-hmm. When teaching takes up so much that you can't do outside work.
Right.
And I don't want to get to that place. I mean, I love teaching, but I think I'm a better teacher if I myself am auditioning when I'm telling them about that, or if I'm taking an improv class.
You can share that experience and say, I just went through this, and it isn't teaching sharing experiences on some level. That's all. I hate that expression. Those who can't do teach.
I just like ending it. And those who can't teach Jim.
No offense
Sorry,
to
gym teachers.
any gym teachers who might be, you are.
My gym teachers hated me. Let's be fair. They weren't the nicest people. I mean, there was, I'm sure all of them are listening.
You said your gym teachers. I can only remember 2.
Well, in high school, we had, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Because they split you into groups.
We had a huge class. Like we had a huge school and a huge class.
485 we graduated with?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, they had multiple gym teachers to kind of...
I remember elementary, Perry Jeter, and I remember high school, Rudy Hudak.
Rudy Hudak
with a Hudac, I believe is how you spelled his last name.
Okay.
Rudy Hudak.
I don't remember any of them because I am horrible.
Well, you just said your gym teachers hated you.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Well, how come if they hated you, then you have to have some sort of remembrance?
No, I do. I remember. I hung out with a bunch of athletes. So it was like varsity volleyball, varsity softball, varsity soccer, and then I'm varsity speech and debate.
Yeah.
And like,
did you let her?
No.
No.
I don't think you can. You let her in speech and debate?
I
don't know. I only did it for a couple of years, but I couldn't. If there was a ball involved, I got hit with the ball every time. If there's no ball involved, I fell down. So I'm horribly clumsy, horribly unathletic. So I just kind of started making fun of things.
Right.
I don't think they, or I just sing.
I remember Mr. Jeter was kind of a lazy gym teacher, if I remember correctly. When the big activity was kickball.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
And kickball would last until Mike Carmine, who was held back a couple of grades, I believe, and was a big guy, and he would kick the ball so hard it would go sailing up onto the roof of the elementary school, and then Mr. Jeter would just go, "All right, we're done. Back inside." Not get another kickball. Yeah, that's what I remember from Mr. Jeter. And the only thing I took away from Rudy Hudak was how to. He told us how to get out. This is going to sound weird. How to get out of the shower after we showered up. Before we took a towel to dry off, this is what I learned in the Navy. He goes, before you get out of the shower and grab those towels, I don't want those towels sopping wet. What you do is you get out of the shower and you wipe yourself down. You wipe off the excess water on your arms and your chest, and your legs. You wipe off the excess water, then you grab the towel. To this day.
You do that, don't you?
To this day, I do that before I get out of the shower.
Really?
I do this. That's the only.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We did not have to shower in gym class. I don't think you guys did you?
No.
Like, there were showers there, but I think they were reserved for sports.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I did football, the year that I did it, it was, we would shower there, but that's about it. So, yeah.
I wonder when that transition happened of...
It was about the time that we were in high school, honestly.
Because they did shortly before us, didn't they? You had to take a shower afterward.
Yeah. Well, I went to high school in the 70s, so...
That was normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be really uncomfortable.
What?
Just group showering at this point. I don't have any desire to do it.
Don't go to prison.
Here's hoping.
That's your next stop, so.
Maybe that's where episode 200 will take place.
There you go.
In the showers in prison.
Yeah, nice.
You can do that. No, I mean, you hear of all the stories and the beginning of Carrie and like, sounds awful.
Okay.
Sounds awful.
That's what you related to.
Well,
nice.
We never had to do it.
Uh-huh.
And so my first job was the Concourse Athletic Club, which is no longer there. I think I've told this story before, but...
Not to me.
I think everybody's different about nudity in their own manner. Like, for being outgoing, I'm a fairly modest person.
All right.
Like, I'll probably turn my back to change in the locker room. I'm not going to go in the bathroom, but it's like, I'm not going to display everything for the world. But there's some women that and I'm sure with men in locker rooms too, it's like no big deal.
Do you find that those people that it's no big deal have a good
physique
and a good sense of feel good about their bodies and how they look and so forth? So
from what I've heard about the men's locker room, no, it's ones that the people that are uncomfortable with it are like, please put clothes on. I don't want to see that. There was a dude that walked around in a white Speedo at the club. That was rather unpleasant. I do recall that. But as far as the women, I mean, there weren't that many, but I remember my best friend Tracy, it was her first week there, and there was a woman, she nice physique, fine, like comfortable, and she started up a conversation with Trey while she was taking after her shower.
Who's Trey?
Tracy, my best friend. Sorry.
Tracy. Okay.
Tracy. And the woman is just talking to her, and Trey's like, I'm just kind of keeping straight eye contact. Sure. And she's like, but then she started with the lotion. And so the woman's talking to her, getting lotion, props a foot up on the countertop, and just Trey's like, that's when I had to leave.
I think this is where Ben inserts some sort of sexy music while you're telling that story in the edit.
Skinamax type music. Yeah.
No, it was not sexy at all. She's like, I bolted out of there as quickly as possible.
Huh.
Yeah. But we were 14. That's a lot, I think, for a 14, 15-year-old to try to grapple with.
Right.
And they were really big on us being great with customer service. So we're doing our best to talk to these people.
Right. Well, they're okay.
Yeah. But there wasn't a lot of communal...
Why is the club no longer in existence? What happened?
I don't remember. I think it just financially went under. It was right by the airport. And I think they sold it to another hotel corporation.
Okay.
Because it was under the Westerville Athletic Club, which is now a school, the Sawmill Athletic Club, which I don't know what it is now, and then the Concourse, and those three were under one
Gotcha.
umbrella. So there was the whack, the cack, and the sack.
My new children's book.
You can whack your sack at the cack if you want to, and we indeed saw that happen once or twice. It was disgusting. I think it was a great first job to have. I cleaned up every possible bodily fluid before I was 18. Yeah.
All right.
I did too when I was at a movie theater.
That's not good. People poop there?
Oh, yeah.
What?
In popcorn buckets. They didn't want to get up from the movie, so they'd poop in a popcorn.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
No.
How do you get into that position?
I don't know. I was there when we had the film Striptease come through too, and there's some questionable things we found there. Too.
No.
But,
Oh my God.
No.
No.
What was your first job?
My first job?
Mm-hmm.
My first job was working I was 13.
Okay.
Worked for $1 an hour at the Broadway Cafe. And I had a choice of either working for $1 an hour over the course of the summer or working for free and then being paid with a car, which was a Chevy Vega.
wow.
Not in existence anymore.
For a reason.
But I was 13 and I wouldn't be able to drive the car for 3 more years. So I opted for the $1 an hour through the summer and then moved up to $1.35 an hour when I took a job at the Steubenville Public Library.
What did you do? Show me.
I was a page, I think is what they called it, where I would, put the books back. And I was also a film inspector. You know those 16 millimeter films that you watched in high school that you got from the library? Well, you remember every once in a while one would break or something or another. Well, when they would come back, I would be the guy that would splice them back together.
Wow.
And fix them and so forth and so on and fix the films. I was the film inspector. And I had to check the films when they came back to make sure that there weren't any rips or tears. And you just kind of rolled through it and so forth and so on. If there was a problem, you took a little frame out or fixed it. There was adhesives and whatnot to do that. And I kept that job all through high school.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And speaking of patience, you've got to be patient to do that kind of work.
Yeah, I guess so. But I loved books, so the library. So sad. One of my most exciting moments in my childhood was because I think I may have mentioned this on one of your podcasts before. Is that when I moved back to Steubenville, I lived with my grandparents, and my grandmother was very strict, and she only let me do a couple of things by myself. One was go to the movies, which at this is when Steubenville had movie theaters downtown. I'd go to the movies and I'd go to the library, which was right across the street. So one of the biggest moments for me was transferring my library card from the children's library up to the adult library. Yeah. And I remember the very first book I checked out was The Poseidon Adventure by Paul Gallico.
There's got to be a morning after.
Yeah, it didn't have the song in it, but I remember that was my first experience in like, okay, the book is always better than the movie. I mean, because of the character development and the details and so forth.
That's a hard something to film without the budget of Titanic. You know what I mean?
Right. But that was the first book I checked out.
Wow. I do love me some Maureen McGovern, though.
Who doesn't?
She's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad that it's like, when I think in my vocal range, who do I sing like? Maureen McGovern.
Maureen McGovern?
It's not real popular these days. She's still alive.
Okay. And I don't know why you say it's not really popular these days.
It's not a sound that people are looking for these days.
Then make it a sound that people should look for again. Bring it back. Everything comes back. Everything comes full circle. We need some McGovern. Some Maureen McGovern.
Some more McGovern.
Yeah, more McGovern. Bring it back.
She nails some of those songs.
Yeah.
She and Melissa Manchester.
I like Melissa Manchester. Yeah.
She's a good one. Who else do you listen to?
I mean, it's funny that I know there's an age difference between us, but
just a couple of years.
You talk about singers that were from
the 70s.
My
before
generation.
I was born, really.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Isn't
it interesting because you talk about an affection for those singers in the 70s, and I have an affection for singers from the 40s and 50s.
Which is really before your time as
before
well.
my time. Huge Sinatra fan, Nat King Cole, Vic Damone, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis.
Did you hear those growing up though?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I did. I must have
Mm-hmm.
at some point. But yet I don't recall there being a lot of those records around. It's interesting how you get connected to something, and sometimes you can't always explain it. It just is what it is.
Do you know what's funny though? And this will be good for you. When did you start at Sunny 95? What year?
1994.
Okay, so this would have been. We moved here in '87, and there was something. I have very specific memories from moving into our new house because we never been outside of our house in Denver, and then we moved across the country to Ohio. And I remember first the humidity, the smell coming from the air conditioner because we didn't have that in Denver. There's just no humidity, so it just felt and smelled different. And I remember finding Sunny 95, and it was the first time that I started like listening to what I wanted to listen to. Mm-hmm. This is terrible. This is how cool I was back then. There was a show that they did on there, just like love songs
with Delilah, or was it with before Delilah?
It was local.
It was local with John Simons.
Maybe
love songs. Yeah,
I mean, this would have been late '80s, a little before
probably
your time.
Probably John Simons did that show. Did love songs.
I didn't like Delilah, but
Delilah.
Yeah, I didn't like her. But there was a boy that I had a big crush on. So I would call the station and request, I think it was In My Dreams by REO Speedwagon to Brett. I don't even remember his last name, but I remember. Yeah.
Did he do it? Did they play it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would go down to the basement, and so nobody knew what I was doing, and dial on our rotary phone.
Love songs were... It was
a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Because you could request and...
Mm-hmm. And hear all the angst or hear all the joy. I mean, you got it covered the gamut. There was heartbreak. There was hearts full of love, and
The 80s was a powerful time for cheesy love songs.
Yeah.
Right. I think that defined the decade within itself. There was more angst in the 90s, but now in the 80s, it was just like a lot of broken hearts out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved all of them. I love a sappy love song.
I used to do one of my first early jokes in stand-up was making fun of love songs on Sunny 95 and how I would be the worst host ever for that show because I was just
you would be bad.
A little too abrasive and cynical,
Mm-hmm.
I just broke up with my girlfriend and I really miss her. Could you play Barry Manilow's Trying to Get the Feeling Again? No. In fact, you realize somebody's probably banging her up against her own headboard as we speak, don't you? Right? How about I play Hall & Oates, She's Gone? How about that one?
That's awful. But that's a great song.
Yeah, so, but, yeah.
But there's a love song for every mood. I really think there is. And I'm a song person. I think this about me. Like, I think in lyrics and I think in, like, perpetual life soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
People who drive with me in the car, especially my husband, sorry, honey, feel like I never settle on a song. It's like I will keep jumping until I find, okay, this is the one right now. I actually have a playlist of songs I will listen to all the way through because there's not very many that I'll just skip. Even though it's my music and I've selected it, it's like, no, this one I will always listen to all the way through.
I wrote an essay one time about the right song at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving and I was in experience a bit of melancholy, if you will. And the station that I had on, it's almost as though the music gods were listening to me, and every song that came on for like 4 or 5 songs in a row spoke to me. And it's like it was like you said, it was like a little mini soundtrack for what I was thinking and feeling. And it ranged from Cat Stevens to Neil Diamond to Harry Chapin to it obviously was an older station. Jim Croce, and it was like and everything was it was like the perfect little mini set for what I was thinking and feeling. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And it's constant for me, though. I mean, that's...
But isn't that what music's supposed to do
I think so.
on some level?
Well, we talk about it in theater, and I ask the question to my students of, like, why do we sing in musical theater? It's because we get so high in our emotional level that we have nothing else to do but sing. Like, it's gotten to just a new level. So, I mean, I can see that with just music in general. The emotions are deeper. I mean, it's rare that you hear somebody sing about, like, a loaf of bread. You know? I'm sure somebody did. There's a band called Bread, right? So,
yeah, there was a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it talks about things that are much more deep and more emotional, and that you wouldn't just be speaking of it. And then if you spoke it out like a monologue, it would sound pretty dorky, quite frankly. I'm all out of love.
So you could get away with singing about bread a lot easier than you could speaking about bread.
It depends on how much...
provided that the song about bread was catchy.
Right.
And, and
French toast!
And had a
so I guess there is a song
an
about
infectious
bread.
little chorus.
This
then
is
it
true.
might be far more effective.
Might be, yeah.
Than it would
just
be if it
speaking.
would be a monologue about bread, the staff of life.
I think we've got a song that we're going to write here. We should get Billy in. Help
Yeah.
us write a song about,
There you go. I like
about
it.
bread. I would write it. I love bread. I miss bread.
Bread is dead, man. Bread is dead.
Now, you occasionally give up bread.
Occasionally,
Occasionally.
And I don't even know why I try. I love bread. I
What's
don't
your
even know
favorite
why I attempt to give up bread or cut it out for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
The best moving forward, the best I could do is probably curtail it.
Yeah.
Not eat it all the time or not eat as much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, maybe one slice with peanut butter and jelly, fold it over, and fake myself out to make believe it's two pieces because it's folded over. Something like that.
Okay.
Because I'm very easy to fool myself.
Do you bake?
No, I don't bake. I don't bake. I'm not.
Like
a
it's a
baker.
foolish question. Sorry, I asked.
I got back into cooking a little bit.
Yeah.
When I was down in Florida. I had to go to Florida during the pandemic and take care of my mom for 5 weeks after hip surgery. Yeah. And was forced to start cooking again because I made her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And
Did she like your cooking?
She did.
Is she a good cook?
No.
Oh, really?
No. You would think so. It skips. I'm sorry, Ma. It skipped a generation, or
wow.
it did not travel down to her because her sister, my aunt Angie, phenomenal. My grandmother, amazing. My mother. Here's the worst thing. My mother thinks she can cook.
Yeah.
And she could do some basic things.
Right.
But yeah, I started to cook again, and I enjoyed it. And I thought maybe it would carry over once I got back from Florida, and no. But it's interesting. I'm gonna do another plug here. The short film that we shot on Thursday.
You said you got to cook?
My character is making sauce.
Yeah.
And I kept the sauce. I kept what I had cooked down. And now, granted, I had to even it out once I took it home because I was throwing a lot of extra stuff in there that had too much of this because we were doing take after take after take.
Right.
But I had been cooking down tomatoes for 5 to 6 hours in this pan.
Which is ideal, really.
Right.
I mean, that's
exactly.
what you're supposed to do.
It seemed criminal.
Yeah.
To me to waste that. So, and there was some, and earlier there had been some garlic in there, and I'd thrown in some parsley, and like, this is still a workable, salvageable sauce. So, I had the smarts to bring a big Tupperware container to the shoot, and I poured it in there, and I took it home, and then the other night, put it on the stove, and found out what it needed. It just needed a little more oregano and a little bit of red pepper, and it was phenomenal.
Do you like a chunky sauce or do you like a smooth?
Somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle, not too chunky. I don't mind a smooth one, but not too chunky. And this one wasn't. This was crushed tomatoes, which actually then cooked down even more. So it's delicious. Yeah.
I started making my own sauce about 2 years ago, and I won't go back. It's just it's funny even sitting in like a Tupperware container, because it dyes the sauce you purchase from the store dyes the container. When you cook it from scratch, it doesn't. It's like, well, they add so much crap into their stuff.
Right.
Like, no, I love it. I love cooking the sauce, putting the immersion blender in at the end of the experience.
The immersion blender.
Immersion blender. Have you seen these? It's a handheld blender. That's what I use for my sauce. Also, my broccoli cheese soup, which is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's darn good.
Okay, I'll have to take your word on it.
I'll make you sauce someday. Might be disappointing though. I mean, since you've already made it.
Oh no, I'm always open to.
What other stuff do you make from scratch?
From scratch?
Yeah.
Scratch. The sauce is the only thing that comes to mind. I mean, I can do wonderful things with chicken. I can do wonderful things with pork. But, as far as how it's cooked and whatnot, but from scratch, from scratch to me sounds more like baking.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as what you're creating. Yeah.
So you're not a baker?
Not a baker.
I'm not
Not
either.
a baker. Not a candlestick maker.
And there you have it, folks.
There.
Are you a baker, Ben?
I am actually.
Are you?
I am.
Okay.
I haven't done it this year, but yeah.
No, that's true.
I'm good at it.
Our
During the
baking-
pandemic, you've not baked? That's all I heard about, where people were baking and doing this during the pandemic and rediscovering or discovering the joys of baking. And it seemed like that'd be the ideal time for you to be making muffins.
But
I started keto
Yeah.
January 1 and stopped kind of like all the carbs and everything like that. And had I not-
Keto strikes again. Keto.
well, we sort of started at the
Keto.
same time.
Yeah.
And I'm not as I did break down because okay, so here's what my son did yesterday. He comes to the table and he's like, "Mom, I pulled out these 2 Reese cups for you." So, well,
Nice.
I usually don't eat them, but you brought them for me. He goes, "Well, so here's yours, and I'm going to have this one while you do it." I was like, "Oh, so this is you want a Reese's cup,
Right.
but you're treating it as a gift so that I can have one too."
Genius.
He's a smart cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He loves him some treats.
Oh, me too. It's like I texted my neighbor and I said, "Is there trick or treat tonight? Halloween?"
Yeah.
He goes, "No, it was Thursday."
Oh, you missed it.
I missed it because we
Oh.
were shooting the short, and I went, and normally we always have a bourbon on the front porch, and we don't get a lot of kids
Yeah.
trick or treating. I'm sure it would have been even less this year, but I missed it. And it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I always buy too much candy.
Yeah.
And I
Then it
love
sits around.
candy. No, it doesn't sit around.
No, but I mean, you've got
Yeah,
excess.
I'll eat it. And no, I don't need to be. I have a horrible, horrible sweet tooth. Love candy.
What's your favorite?
Don't know what my favorite is.
Oh, you don't know. I thought I was getting a lecture. Like, don't ask me.
Don't.
Don't talk about it.
I actually I'm pretty simplistic when it comes to my favorite is a good old fashioned Hershey bar.
Really?
Yeah,
Just plain and simple.
plain and simple, like me, plain simple, not complicated at all. Yeah, right.
Butterfinger is mine.
I love Butterfingers.
I love Butterfingers.
Love Butterfingers.
Whoppers. I do like the Whopper.
Yeah,
Not the sandwich, but the candies.
the candies are good. Yeah,
And Crunch bars. I always liked Crunch.
Mystic Crunch Bar is a good one.
But there's a cup.
Mounds or Almond Joy.
I do like Almond Joy. Coconut does not bother me. So that was never a gross.
Okay.
There was very little that I didn't. It was super fun the year that my daughter got braces. Because she had to give us half of her candy. It was great. But there's not much that I don't love suckers,
Yeah, not even the good old fashioned.
Not
Tootsie
really.
Pop?
I don't love Tootsies that much.
Yeah,
No.
Mike or Ike's or hot tamales.
Hot tamales.
Yeah.
I'm a spicy gal. You know that.
Right.
Yeah, the
Licorice?
chewy candy, licorice doesn't bother me. Did you know that some dude died from eating too much licorice?
Yep.
Did you see that?
You can do that.
It's crazy. Did
Too
you know
much.
that, Ben?
Too much.
did, yeah.
Too much anise.
Yeah.
Anise, which is fun when you're shopping for anise in the store and your husband just keeps saying anus
Anus,
over and over
right.
and over again as loud as possible. It was a really fun day. Thanks, honey, for that. We were looking for it for
They're looking. How much anus do we need?
anus.
How
Where's
much anus
the
do we need?
anus?
You think that's too much anus? All right. Did we get enough anus?
Which shouldn't bother me because I have the mind of like a 13-year-old boy most of the time.
Yeah.
But there are moments, you know. I think when I'm searching for something legitimately, and it's called anise, and I'm like, say it right.
Oh.
Yeah. So 100th episode. Thank you.
100th episodes in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah.
On the almost eve of another election.
Well, and this episode is going to go up on election day.
It's going to go up on election day.
So hopefully this will be a nice escape. I will be working the polls all day, so
Good
I
for
will
you.
not.
Yeah.
Just felt like the right thing to do this year.
I voted early.
I did too.
I voted early.
How was that?
I went on a rainy day thinking that the rainy day might cut back on the lines, but no, they were wrapped
People are
around
out
the
there.
building. And a tip of the rain hat to the people working there. It was
Super smooth.
smooth. It was in and out within 45 to 50 minutes, considering the weather and the lines. It was a smooth, easy transition. Normally, I wait and vote day of.
Yeah.
But I think I kind of want to sit back and watch all this unfold. And I honestly, this will be on election day. This will be released on election day. Yeah, it'll be curious
It'll be interesting.
to see where we go. Because in the midst of everything that's been going on this year with COVID and the pandemic and in the middle of an election year, it's just going to be interesting to see, what the next steps are going to be. I don't normally discuss politics as a rule.
Right.
I don't judge anybody by their politics. By the same token, I don't expect to be judged for my politics. But I just this country is, it's like it's in a bad relationship with itself. Okay?
Yeah.
You right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no communication. It's not talking to one another. It's divisive, and it goes to bed angry every night.
On the couch.
On the couch, right? It's and as a result, it's because of the anger. It's in denial. It's drinking too much.
Sláinte.
And
Speaking of.
right? It's just
It's my show. I'm drinking more.
It's
Damn it.
it needs
Do you want some more?
it needs to work on its own relationship
It
moving
needs
forward.
to spend some time by itself
Yeah,
and get some counseling.
some sort of counseling, and does that counseling come from our next president? I don't know, because once again, these are my choices when I think about all the
Yeah.
I'm picking, and this is not a slam on ageism by any sense of the word, but I'm picking the one elderly guy over the other elderly guy. When I think of all the
Yeah.
brilliant progressive minds that are out there that are
Right.
chomping on the bit to try to make a difference. It's just
It's messy.
it is messy.
It's very
It is
messy.
messy. And COVID, I think we're still in for a bit of a haul there. I was thinking about this the other day, though, in respects to COVID. If COVID,
I'm here.
stay with
No,
me.
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
If COVID wasn't associated with the insidious pandemic that it is, right?
Yeah.
COVID-19. You think
Right.
COVID-19,
Yeah.
you think the worst, you know. I
Right.
got exposed to COVID-19. Oh my God. If it wasn't associated with that, do you think COVID as a name wouldn't it have made like a good name for like a over-the-counter medication for
Side effects of COVID.
right? You know, COVID. Are you suffering from cough, venereal disease, and indigestion?
That's a lot.
Well, it's all in there. It's all in there. I needed something for the V.
yeah.
I needed something for the V.
Venereal.
Cough, venereal disease, and ID indigestion. That's where I went.
Wow.
You know, COVID
Cough, venereal disease.
and indigestion.
That sounds horrible.
I know, right? It's the worst.
That is every part of you in pain.
Yes.
And
until
gushing?
you go to the
you go on-
pharmacist and get some COVID.
19.
Or 19. I don't feel you need the 19, but just
Extra
COVID.
strength stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
COVID.
yeah.
COVID extra strength, COVID regular strength.
So what would the commercial look like? Because there's always people like
Well, it'd be an over-the-counter one, so it wouldn't be one of those
prescription.
prescription
See your
ones
doctor
with
for it.
1,000 disclaimers as to what the side effects could be.
It would be like a family in a kitchen, and the woman's like,
Right.
"Oh, this," and it's like, "Are you having trouble, honey? Oh, well, here, try this."
Try COVID.
Here's the
Yeah.
problem though, because she'd have to like cough, grab the stomach
Right.
and the
Yeah, no,
vaginal
you gotta
region.
show that. Yeah.
Right,
Like-
yeah.
Let people
But
know
you
what
know,
you're
it's-
dealing with.
COVID, I would say like Pepto Bismol.
Oh, yeah.
COVID. It'd be one of those, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if it wasn't associated with what it's associated with, would it have made a good product
For the
for
cover-
over the counter, or maybe even a car?
Oh yeah.
The
I
Dodge
drive
COVID.
Oh, I was gonna go Chevy.
Oh yeah,
Chevy
the,
COVID.
The Chevy COVID. I like
Yeah.
Dodge.
Do you like Dodge?
Dodge. Well, I don't like Dodges
Dodge
over
COVID.
Chevys, but I'm saying the Dodge COVID sounds like
Yeah,
it
it
could
sounds
be
better.
a truck or
Yeah.
or a car. The Dodge COVID spreading across America.
We've had a lot of time on our hands, haven't we? This is where the creativity.
That's where my
shows up.
brain goes. If it wasn't such a bad thing, could it have been something productive and
So let me ask you, in all honesty, like, are you nervous about COVID? Like, how do you feel about? Because I know that you've kept your circle
yes,
kind of the same as it was, and we're sort
Right.
of doing the same thing.
Right.
and-
of course I am.
yeah. But does it make you nervous?
Does it make me nervous? There's a difference between nervous and I say paranoid.
True.
Of course it makes me nervous. I don't want it. I don't want to get it. I
Yeah.
don't even want a mild case of it. I know there's been mild cases of it and whatnot. I wish that we would have taken it more seriously from the get-go. I
Yeah.
wish we would have adhered to some things that might have lessened the impact of it all. It kills me that that we didn't get through it, and now there's the second and third waves coming, but people seem to be more what I call COVID complacent in respects to things. Yeah, the whole man, I hate wearing the mask. Okay, all right, you know,
So do I.
So do I.
Fucking wear it.
but
You know.
but in the right situation, like here we're much like on our podcast, we're safe distance. But I came in, I was wearing the mask. Ben had the mask
Yep.
on.
We move around.
We
have
move around.
masks.
We, you know,
Yeah.
we're you know,
And we've also been a part of each other's bubbles from the
Right.
beginning. Ben and I definitely from the beginning.
yeah, my
you
guys
know.
too on the podcast as well.
And it's a communication of like, so you know, we are staying at home. However, we've hung out with.
right, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if through this winter, if things don't improve, that we end up staying at home again.
I
People
agree.
are starting to stockpile again. People are starting to fill their shelves at home
Yeah.
in anticipation of it. And then there's other people think it's going to go away after the election.
Which is amazing.
Just no, it's
It's been holding on
Like a
till
It's
November
not.
4th.
It's not going to go.
Whatever. No.
Stop here.
So yeah, nervous about it? No, I mean I don't want loved ones to, I was nervous going down to Florida in the midst of
Is
it.
that July?
That was in July.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't go anywhere. It was pretty much my mom's and the grocery store, and every once in a while I'd step out and go to my brother-in-law's office for a cocktail, on his patio, but that was pretty much it. So I didn't really have a lot of. But driving down, I drove instead of flying. Driving down, I could just, you get to certain states where, do you guys know that there's a
thing
going around, and like, so, yeah.
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 In
And
Columbus,
take today for example. This is a football Sunday. My Steelers are playing the Ravens later on today, right?
Go Ravens.
And shush now. That's it. If I had a microphone, I'd rip it off right now and I'd walk away. But
Can't be so dramatic, can you?
No, I can't be.
So
I can't be. But I don't want to go to a bar,
right.
and
It's not.
it's just
Yeah.
And sit with people that I know that the bars have maximum occupancy, and I know that there's, but
But that's your comfort level.
that's my comfort level. Yeah.
No, I'm the same.
Will I watch a football game with a circle of friends that have kind of been in this same bubble with me? Yeah, because we all know what we've been doing. We all know we've always been adhering to certain things, and even then, we're all still safe distancing.
So since I'm in your bubble, I'll just continue to say go Ravens. Go Ravens. Win today.
Yeah.
I can't cheer for my team.
You're out of the bubble. Go Ravens. Wow.
No, actually, I'm not
Out
cheering
of
for the Ravens.
all the things that you could have said to me today.
Listen, I am a very fair weather fan for my own team who is not doing well this season. So I'm kind of not cheering anymore.
Okay.
We're
fair
doing
enough.
pretty bad.
Yeah, we're doing very well.
You are doing very well. Congrats. Go Steelers.
Go Steelers.
Wonderful.
All right,
Wonderful
thank
job,
you.
Steelers.
Yeah, we
Broncos,
probably jinxed
what
it.
happened?
We probably jinxed it. By the time this drops on Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Election day? Yeah,
Well, no.
we'll know. Anywho.
Thank you so much
About what?
for everything. Just supporting and coming on and
Yeah.
humoring me.
Are we done? Oh, man. It flew by again.
Usually does.
Did we talk about anything?
No.
Ben,
Did
did
we
we
ever?
talk about anything?
Yeah.
We-
meandered, and it was wonderful.
We got
That's
in.
the show, man.
We got in baking and public showering.
Who's a good cook?
Who's
Who
a
does
good cook?
cooking?
Can I plug a couple things
Please
before
club.
we go?
Club.
Did I say club or plug?
I did.
Yes. A short film called Spitballin' that I did with our mutually adored friend Ralph Scott.
It's entertaining.
Is out as of this
Today.
recording. Yeah.
Okay.
On our Whiskey Business YouTube channel, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. It is me and Ralphie and shot by the incredible John Whitney.
We love John Whitney.
John Whitney's incredible.
He's amazing.
It
is funny.
It is funny and absurd.
It's hard, again, and I've said this to you, it's hard because I know the both of you so well.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've either heard this whole thing before or...
Yeah. It's basically two frustrated writers who are spitballing ideas, and they have a very simple, nice start of an idea, and as they continue to spitball, it escalates into just filthy, absurd things that I don't want to share and ruin.
Don't share them.
No, but you need to watch it. So right now, and it'll be on other formats as well, but right now we're debuting it on
Not safe for work or children.
No, not for the kids.
Nope.
Not for the kids, but fun and funny. And Ralph is great.
He's wonderful. I'm surprised. You know what? Honestly, it is a little bit weird not having him here. Because I think for our 50th, he was the peanut gallery.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
So, but we're trying to keep things safe and COVID.
He was, and he was with us on the shoot for Supper, which that'll be done by the end of November.
Okay.
Did that with another mutual friend, John Osbeck, and of course John Whitney shot that as well.
Sure.
John Whitney, I'm telling you. And Ralphie was there with just incredible notes and guidance for both John and myself. John Osbeck directed it. John and I both wrote it. I'm very excited about that one too. A completely different type of short film as opposed to where spitballing is absurd, Supper is intense.
Well, it's good that you've been getting some work.
So I haven't been getting work. I've been creating work. Right,
you're creating, and that's just as
creating.
important as
It does feel good. But then it's like it's almost like it's like a fix. When
it is.
I'm going to put it into addictive terms, but it's like a fix. And like, oh man, I got my fix in, and I'm like, oh man, now what? Now where's the next thing going to be?
Yep.
Where's the next project going to be? Thank God for the podcasts that we do
right.
on a weekly basis.
It gives us something to
keep us going. I'm horrible about it. We should plug Whiskey Business. Hello, the Whiskey Business podcast.
He has a podcast.
I'm the worst self-promoter ever.
It's because you're humble.
Just, I enjoy doing this and talking with you. And now I get to look
You have
forward.
an award-winning podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but there's only been, that's it.
Great. You are the
it.
ultimate winner.
I was actually talking to somebody who was involved in the Columbus podcast festival and whether or not that would return. And he was open to it returning, but, things
we're going to beat you. That's our goal.
No, by all means. Because I'll tell you what, you will, because we won't even enter. That way we don't have to lose to you.
You're not going to lose to me. No, what I love is, honestly, you and I have shared so many guests.
Yes.
We have a lot of mutual that have come from one or the other.
Right.
And made a lot of mutual friends because of that. Right. Jesse Hubbard probably being.
And what's also interesting about that is that even though we've shared a lot of guests, we've not shared, the conversations are different.
No.
They're markedly different as far as what we've discussed with said guests. So... which
is good.
It is good.
I think that's why you were such a driving force to me doing this podcast, is that we have similar formats, but it still ends up being different because it's just a conversation.
Right.
And that's the way that you do yours too. You bring them on because of something interesting of them, or I still don't know why you had me on. That was ridiculous. But
that was not ridiculous. You were a great guest.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just weird to me, but that's just me.
Why? Why shouldn't it be any more weird than you having me on?
You're just weird. You fit the format.
Yeah, well, you're weird. You're very weird.
This is how we end. Whiskey business.
Yes, go ahead.
Take two. Whiskey business.
Whiskey business.
Whiskey business podcast.
Yeah, whiskey business.
You guys come out with a new one every.
We try to come out every week with one. We kept our Halloween one running for a couple of weeks because
that was phenomenal.
So
it was so good. You have to listen to that one.
Ghosts / Throats and Camping with Bigfoot, I believe is the name of that one.
Nice.
And now we have a new one dropping on Monday. The Road to Aberlour.
Okay.
Aberlour, I'm saying it, is a single malt Scotch whiskey.
Okay.
And we were talking with the national ambassador for that company, and they were kind enough to send me 3 amazing bottles of single malt Scotch, and we did that virtually.
Okay. Because they were in California.
She was in California, but they sent the whiskeys to me, and I shared the whiskeys with Hansberry and Whitney.
Was nice.
And we all sampled them, and it was an interesting bridge back. That's why I called it The Road. It was like for me, it was like a bridge back to the single malt scotches, which I used to drink before I became so bourbon heavy. So it was nice. I forgot about the joys of Scotch whiskey, the different flavors and the different profiles that were in there. So that one's a little more whiskey centric, which we tend to do.
Right.
We're not always about whiskey on the podcast. No. You know that. You know that. So, whiskeybusinesspod.com. is our website, and Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis on YouTube, where you can watch old archived episodes, and Spitballin', directed by John Whitney, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're on all the
on all the socials.
Wherever you get your pod on, we're there.
You're there.
Yeah, including Amazon now. Apparently,
I didn't even know. Like Amazon Music.
Amazon Music is now doing podcasts as well.
Look at that.
So get on it, girl.
Yeah, I will.
Get on it.
Well, thank you. We're really excited. I mean, this is still, for us, this is just a labor of love and something we enjoy doing. And
you both do it very well.
I wouldn't without him.
And
honestly.
this little extra added component, I know you were reluctant and hesitant with the video part of it, but you shouldn't be.
It's been fun.
This is nice. It's kind of like PBS.
Behind the actor studio kind of thing?
Yes.
Or inside the actor studio.
Inside the actor studio, PBS, Charlie Rose. Maybe someday I'll get better chairs and be Ellen.
Do you know what? The comment that has been made, and I do agree, Ben, there is something missing here. A plant.
Well, the set's going to continue to evolve as we go.
Yeah,
Don't make it too busy. We shoot in my bar, and there's I wonder sometimes if there's too many distractions in and around, but it is what it is.
My least favorite statement. Thanks for sharing that.
It is what it is. Yeah. Or I'm looking at your bookshelves too. You could have the faux bookshelf behind you, and then have people zoom
try to
in
figure
and
out what titles are in there.
What you're reading. I do that all the time.
Do you really?
Every time I see the people that have been doing things remotely and they have the bookshelves behind them, I always look at the books to see what they're reading. When I would go to go to open houses, I was thinking about maybe moving, and I'd look at the titles of their books and get an idea.
Really?
And then profile them. Yeah.
I don't know what you would think of my shelves.
I don't know.
They're pretty varied.
That's
I don't
good.
read as much as you do, though.
It's good.
I'm a tendency to read the same books over and over again.
And that's nothing wrong with that either. I know some people that read the same book every year.
Mm-hmm.
Because they find something that they need from it, or something that they love about it, or
I don't think The Shining really gave me anything I needed from it.
But
I did reread that one.
I knew somebody that read Moby Dick every year.
No.
Uh-uh.
Well, thank you.
Never in my life have I gone more Melville. More Melville.
I did read The Catcher in the Rye. That was a revisit over COVID.
Yeah.
Because it was I love this book so much, but I want to.
I reread Lord of the Rings.
Did you really?
I hadn't read it since college, and I need to kind of brush up on it again. It's still fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic, right?
It's amazing how you get lost in something that you already know what's happening, but you sink into it.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite book?
To kind of expand on some of the interesting parts of it, and just a little bit more depth and detail. Yeah, it is an amazing book.
I always I reread of Mice and Men.
I just bought that because of you,
John Steinbeck.
Because I haven't read it since high school. I need to tackle that one.
It's still
happy, uplifting, but
it's one of those books that I consider to not have a wasted word. The economy of it's not a big book.
It's not big at all.
Not a big book. The economy of words, but I know how it ends.
I know.
And yet every time.
I do like Stephen King a lot.
I do too.
So I've reread a lot of the ones. Shining and It are my two favorites of his.
I've read my first Stephen King book was Salem's Lot.
I did read Salem's Lot.
Yeah, and then The Shining.
Pet Sematary.
And
Green Mile. I enjoyed quite a bit.
I read Green Mile when it came out in the
novellas.
In the novellas and the paperbacks. I read it that way.
Yeah, I liked that. I read those on the plane one year.
Yeah.
Favorite book? Catcher in the Rye is definitely up there.
It's up there. You can't go wrong with the.
No. You know, I love Shop Girl by Steve Martin.
You've told me that before. I need to read that.
I saw the movie first. Of course, he shot the movie, directed the movie, so he knew kind of where he was, and he wrote the novella. Other than that, the Thornbirds always.
Colleen McCullough.
Mm-hmm. That's an old one.
Wow, pulled that one out of nowhere.
Wow, that was really good.
I worked in a library.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
and that was a big book then. We watched the miniseries on probably
with
PBS.
Richard Chamberlain.
With Richard Chamberlain. It was like a 7 or 8 night miniseries.
Oh yeah, miniseries were big.
Yeah, and we watched the whole thing at my grandparents' house when they lived in Arizona. I loved it.
Thornbirds was a big
It
miniseries.
was controversial.
Sure it was.
It's basically this priest who comes to this Australian town and gets to know this family, and they have one daughter. And you see her grow, and she's, of course, this beautiful woman. And,
right.
And he's a priest
He's
who
a priest.
struggles with sin. Let's put it that way.
Well, not for long.
Not for long. And a couple times, actually. Anyway, we should probably close this up. Go watch The Thornbirds. It's a great little miniseries from the 80s.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You're the best.
We're really finishing up this time now. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
go down another rabbit hole. Yeah, I know.
Thanks for coming on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thanks
to both
for,
of you. And thank you for...
We'll see you at 150.
Thank you for bringing me back, because I did it. I had, what the hell are we going to talk about? But we got
It's
there.
not a problem, though. I mean, that's...
It really isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah, we
All
do
right.
what we do.
Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, John Boy.
Boxland Media. Think big.